Hey YouTube, thanks for watching my video on the Yamaha XT250 Dual Sport. And I'm going to put this video on the lightweight, light budget Dual Sport camping playlist. Although not much of this is light budget. I have to admit, some of it is, but not most of it. But hey, first my disclaimer, I'm no moto vlogger. I don't do riding videos. I don't edit videos. It's one take, only take, hopefully. If I misspeak, let me know. I'll correct it in the description. And with that being said, ask me any questions. I'm always happy to answer. And so yeah, my first tire mount job went really quite good, but I want to talk about a few of the things that I did to make it easy on myself, because this is no easy task. But if you prep and get some good tools, can be a lot easier. So that's my well, let's talk about light budget for a minute. That's my Dunlop D606. Was a great tire. Got over 4,000 miles on that. I took all the center knobbies down to about 1/8 of an inch to go compared to my new Tusk D Sport. So the light budget portion of this is about the D Sport tire. So that D606 about I think it was $105, and the Tusk D Sport $54, and I put it on and immediately went on a 116-mile ride, both tarmac, a good amount of tarmac, but some awesome rocky dual track and a bit of mud, as you can see. Didn't take long. And I forgot how a full brand new knobby feels at max speed down the highway, which is a little sketchy, but it mellows out. That happened with my D606. It'll mellow out a little bit. And I was going just as fast as this motorcycle would go for a while, which for me is 72 indicated. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Great off-road. I wasn't worried about it off-road, but so a thing about these tires, these dual sport tires. Okay, so one thing about making it easy on yourself is watch a bunch of YouTube videos of people changing tires, and you'll see a lot of tips and tricks. And but one thing I would say is, and one of my goals for doing this for the first time myself was I wanted to be able to be field capable for changing a flat. And so I didn't use a tire stand or any kind of stand. I just threw it on the ground. And so watch those videos. But I would say the one I liked the most was the guy, Motorcycle Superstore, does it on the ground with no tire stands, and he doesn't use a Bead Buddy or anything like that, and that was good to watch. But when I was doing it the first time myself in my garage, I would say a tip for that is don't rush. I was in no rush at all. It wasn't like I was going riding in a couple hours and needed to throw on a new tire. I gave myself an entire evening. I think I started about 8 o'clock. And it was funny because I kept having people call me while I was doing it and wanting to talk. And so it took me a while, but I was in no rush. And it's not a job that you want to be a rush in. I'll say, you'll watch those videos on YouTube, and those guys change them so fast and so good. They never slip, or, their spoons go right in. Well, that's probably not going to be, it wasn't my experience as a rookie, and it probably won't be yours either. And so it's going to take you a lot more time than they show in the videos. So yeah, that was my first tip, is just don't rush. My second one would be warm up your tire. So I'm going to show you a picture of mine. And it wasn't real sunny or warm. So I stuck my tire on top of a space heater and just rotated it around and got it nice and warm. And the space I was working in was nice and warm. So I think that helps a lot when you're stretching that thing over your rim. So another thing would be, yeah, do it on the ground in a good spot. I just threw down a piece of cardboard, even though, okay, I'm not fully replicating field conditions. I don't have something to throw down under my tire, but hey, I'm doing it in my garage. I threw down a piece of cardboard, and you can see where I dented it all up there from my sprocket side. Pretty much work sprocket side down. That would be a tip. Work sprocket side down. That's good. You really don't ever have to have that sprocket side up. It's a lot. You won't, catch yourself on that sprocket. You'd rather have the disc, the brake disc facing up. So another tip I would have would be, I like to print out a parts. When I'm taking something apart for the first time, especially on my XT250, I like to print out a parts diagram. Yes. And then, and I wasn't getting all the bearings out. I did lube, put some grease on all that, but I like to print out a parts diagram, and then when I take things apart, I basically set them on the diagram oriented in the on the side that I removed them from. So that really helps me to not get things, even like the tire spacers on these they're different for each side. So I did all those things, and like I said, it went really well, but I'm going to show you some of the tools that I used and what I think about them. So one is I got a ratcheting 12, which is super nice to take your rim lock off, and that one's going in the toolbox. In the tool box, what should I say? The tool, like tool rolls. I got a tool roll going in there, so that was good. Of course, stem. Valve stem remover. Don't just let the air out of your tire. Just remove the whole core. Stem core. I guess that's a stem core remover. Remove the whole core. Get all the air out of there. And I happen to splurge on the Yamaha Blue and just ride with those on my moto. So that worked out good. The next thing was my tire irons. Now I'll say this, everybody that makes it look easy on YouTube uses 3 tire irons. And I got 3 tire irons, and I went with the combos of a 22, a 19, and a 17. So that's all the 3 axle bolt sizes, right? And do you need 3? Well, I'll say this. You need 3 tire spoons twice in that whole process. Other than that, I was using 2 the whole time. But to get started and to finish, to have 3 was great. I don't know if I could have got that final bite on if I didn't have 3 tire spoons. And I got a little frustrated there at the end too, which goes to give yourself plenty of time. But yeah, I think 3's the way to go. The Tusk one's aluminum. These DRC, I think, is that what they are? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, DRCs. Um, and those are steel. I wish they were aluminum because this dude is way lighter than these. But for the 17 and 19 combos, that's really the only one I could find. And they're not inexpensive either. But I think tire spoons with this little edge to get in there, that's what you want. That's what you want. They work good. They work really good. Pretty happy with all that. My next thing is lube it up, man. Use a lot of lube. Now, I ended up getting a bull snot, slick. High viscosity. That stuff is really slick. So do I recommend this? I don't know. I'm not going to carry this whole thing with me on the moto. I'm going to squeeze it into a little 1 ounce. But this is made... Well, it dries fast. I'll say this. I lube both sides, and by the time I got to the second time, this is long gone. There's some residual slickness, right? But it's like dried. So I was lubing as I went. So I would say lube one side, or even lube half and work on that half, and then lube a quarter and work on it, and lube the next quarter and work on it. It's nice to have this wet because it's so slick. It really helps a ton. Now, I've seen the YouTube videos where they're using tire paste for mounting. That's probably better than this. This is real liquidy, and I'm super glad I had it, and I'm gonna use it all over, hopefully a long period. But the next thing I think I would get would be a paste that would not, dry out so fast. Yeah. So the next thing I did to make my life easier was I used a Bead Buddy. This was nice. It goes on your rim and gives the tire, it keeps the bead down into the center of the rim, so it gives you more room on the side that you're pulling on. So it's real important to make sure you stay off the bead, the side of your tire stays off the bead and down into the drop center. You want the tire bead to be down here, because see how this is, you have, once it's down here, then you have more room on the other side to pull. So I really appreciated using a Bead Buddy. In fact, so much so that when I watch people use them, they put one Bead Buddy on. This is the trail version of the Bead Buddy. I don't know how long Motion Pros had these, but their trail version is much smaller than, I'll say, their shop version. And so I watched enough videos to watch people using those Bead Buddies, and they'd put one on, and then they'd still go around and need to push on the tire more. And so I was like, you know what? Only thing better than one Bead Buddy is two Bead Buddies. So I went with two, and I put those on directly across where I was going to finish pulling the tire. So that worked out good. And with that, all those things, my experience of mounting my first tire wasn't bad. And listen, those dual sport tires, their sidewalls are stout. I don't really want to, it doesn't want to stay off the bead. It wants to be right up there. So having good tire irons to get under there, and Bead Buddy and lube, with that, anybody can do it. I was successful on the rookie run, but like I said, I made it easy on myself by doing a lot of these things that I talked about. The last thing that I did, I was going to just pump the tube up. Oh, and I used my existing tube. It's a heavy duty tube, and it looked fine. And plus I didn't have another one anyway, so I just used my existing tube. And I was going to pump it up with this Air Force 2 pump, which is a nice, this was my mountain bike pump, and it's nice because it moves a lot of air for its size. But I pushed the easy button and I pumped it up with this little guy. And I've taken this, in my last video, like I said, when I'm going trail riding, one of the fastest ways to wear out your knobbies is to run them at a low pressure on tarmac. And so I had been doing that sometimes. I'd go for a ride, I'd air down on the trail, I'd come off the trail and I'd ride all the way to a gas station with 13 pounds. And that's a real fast way to wear your knobbies down. So I got this, and I take this with me, and I air down at the trailhead and then air back up. And this thing weighs like a pound, and I might take it camping, but space is a premium on the 3-day extended camping, and but we'll see how it goes. And you could also use a CO2. I've been reading about and watching CO2 for inflating, and I might even go that route. That's even smaller. The only thing is, okay, how many cartridges am I I'd really like to be able to repair 2 flats with, and how many cartridges do I need to take? So if I'm taking 4 cartridges, well, 4 cartridges I'm not saving much room over that, right? But we'll see how that goes. So that's a little longer than I wanted, but I hope those tips are helpful. Again, watch a lot of videos, do some of the things I did to make it easy on yourself, and I'm sure your first tire mounting could be as successful as mine. Like I said, I mounted my tire and then whipped out 100 and something miles on it the next day, and it was great. All right, with that, reinforcing my disclaimer, video production quality on XT250 all day is low. But I hope you got something out of it. Thanks for watching my videos as always on XT250 all day. One take, only take. And ride safe, everybody.